that's at 10. Well, let's go change this back to 0 if that changes anything. We can see here we're a little bit off. We might need to tweak this value here. 550 is what we're seeing it at. Let's change it to 555 and see if that does anything. That's a little bit better. Let's change this to 560. Click enter. Notice that looks a little bit better there. We might need to go 562. Looks like that made it a little bit worse. Let's go back to, let's do 561. Let's go to 560. And let's go to 559. And now we're at 0. Now the engine is smoothed out a little bit. I think there was a little bit of a discrepancy here, maybe on our intake cam that was adding some duration and creating some issues. So we can see here that we're pretty much, our cam angle where it thinks the cam's at when it's at 0 is going to be pretty much reaching the target. So cam angle 1, it's going to be at -1. The target's at 0, that's close enough. Cam angle's at 0, cam angle target's at 0 on our intake. That all looks good. Let me go and save this real quick. And it smoothed out the idle. The idle's definitely smoother. Now let's jump back into our VE table here quick. And let's take a look. Now our air fuel here is still a little bit too lean. We're at 15.7, 16 air fuel. We see our lambda is 1.1, 1.05. We do see our EGO correction here is trying to add some back in here to correct that. So if we take a look here, turn the fan on here in the car. There is a separate fan switch here on the race panel, and I didn't have that on. We can see the coolant temp's getting up to 100 degrees, so we definitely want to make sure that's on. Or 100 Celsius, I should say, which is about 210 degrees, 212 degrees. Once the fan runs a little bit, they should come down. All right, let's jump back in here to our setup. To be able to fix this deviation we're finding at idle, we can either increase our VE values or we can increase our injector latency. Now, again, because I don't know what my latency should be at, I'm going to probably stop where this is at here. So at 14 volt, 1 millisecond, I'm going to say that's okay. That would be an option, but again, I'm going to leave that alone. If you had injector data, you wouldn't touch this. You leave that alone, you would go after other factors into dealing with this. So there's two different ways we can correct and richen up our idle area. So we can either increase our VE values right now, so we can go into this table and go from 45 and increase it to maybe 47, go a little bit higher. 40 to 50 is where we want to see it at, approximately for almost every engine. The alternative thing we can do here is if we jump into idle, there's a specific table that deals with our airflow contribution and its effects on the idle and effects on idle fueling. That's going to be found here under this table right here. It's kind of scrunched up. That's our idle duty cycle VE table. We can see this is our percentage of our duty cycle, in this case our throttle plate movement, versus engine speed. So if we take a look, we're commanding here roughly 35% duty cycle, or in this case, 0 to 100% scale of that 10% movement. That gives us our throttle plate here at 3.5% roughly. So we're taking a look at our table here. We're finding our crosshatch is roughly 36, which is the equivalent right here of about 35, 36. So we can go into our table here and we can add fuel. And what we're going to find here is that if we're at 0% throttle movement, we would have 0 fuel. If we're going to be having the whole airflow contribution, let's say. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.